Nearly forgot.
I'll go out of the room.
No, it's fine.
Well, no,
I'm fine today.
You couldn't do it before.
What?
You couldn't do it on this
I can this time.
rogue row of a different
Do you know what that's
colour.
called, Kate?
No, it's look. It's not
called skill.
No, it's not. This is. I feel like I'm too high.
I don't think so. I think you look lovely.
Look, I feel like I'm nearly on the same level as Dan.
Yes, my legs are quite warm. So, if you could...
Oh gosh, this is hot on the bottom.
Welcome back, everyone, to Knit or Forfeit, the quiz show.
Don't go down.
Is that better?
Yes.
Look at the cockatoos on that.
It's marvellous.
That's
Lovely
hilarious.
stitch marker down there. Yeah. I'm going to steal it.
My mind went blank, but because I've got such a lot to tell you. Look at him. He's so cute.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 138.
138.
My goodness, what a show we have in store for you. Many, many surprises.
Yes.
The first of which is what's been released today.
It's the final Swish and Flick pattern.
That's a week early.
Now it's a week early. I decided...
I'm so shocked, I need a drink of coffee.
I know, I decided to release it a week early for a few reasons, but mainly because it's the last pattern. We were podcasting this week. I wanted to be able to talk about it this week rather than it just come out and then talk about it the week after. So I wanted to talk about it on the day that the final pattern is released, so I decided to treat all of the lovely people who are taking part in the Swish and Flick to a week early for the final pattern.
Woohoo! And you'll see it in What's Off Your Needles, won't they?
Yep, What's Off Your Needles?
We're in the middle. Now, as fast as the series of Knit or Forfeit starts, it's racing towards its exciting end.
Yeah.
And today is Kay's final round, so by the end of today's show, we will know what my score is that I have to beat. So yes, I cannot wait for the release of that Swish and Flick, and the pattern I've seen, and it is absolutely gorgeous, but also it's the final chapter of Clementine's story.
Oh, it is, and oh my goodness. When I read it, I was literally sobbing. It was, it's just so lovely. It's so lovely.
Well, it's a really interesting one because when Kay asked me to get involved and write these stories, at that time we didn't know who Clementine was. We didn't know anything. But it was this pattern that she'll show you today, that's been released today, which inspired it all.
Yeah, because actually this design, I designed this one back in, it must have been February.
Right.
That I designed this one.
Amazing.
It's felt like such a long time coming.
Right.
Because, February to November, it is a long time, isn't it, to sort of wait for something.
Yeah.
But it's just the perfect way to end it.
Yeah, definitely.
And this, the way that it then links to the story as well. It's just just perfect.
The story really wrote itself, and it was the first story. I knew what was going to happen at the end before anything else happened, and it was knowing what happened at the end that then saw the birth of Clementine.
Yeah.
So that has just been so wonderful to finally get to write that chapter.
Yeah.
But also it's sort of sad because it's the first time I've ever written anything where I feel like we've created
we have created this character, and actually I did a bit of artwork for something that's upcoming in a few weeks, and I actually painted Clementine for this particular thing that's coming quite soon. And it was just such a lovely thing to do because I'd got this sort of image in my head of what she looked like, and I just decided to draw her and see how it came out. And I kind of stole Bryony's way of drawing things. Bryony's got a very particular style, hasn't she, of drawing these sort of cute little figures. It's kind of slightly that sort of Japanesey look a little bit.
Anime, is that?
No, is it manga?
Manga.
I think it's manga. I'm not sure
fruit.
if that's right, but it's the style where they have sort of big eyes, and it just makes them look super cute. And so I kind of pinched that off her a little bit and came up with. I say came up with. She actually sort of drew herself. I only did it once. I didn't have a practice or anything. I'd got my watercolour paper and I just drew her. And that was it. And she just turned out so sweet. So you'll be able to see her in a couple of weeks.
But not only do we have the excitement of that Swish and Flick, but also the question that I get asked the majority of the year is, are you doing the Bakery Bears Advent Calendar this year? Well, I can tell you we most certainly are. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who's ready for the greatest Bakery Bears Advent Calendar of all time? Christmas would just not be Christmas without a special little Advent video to open from us every morning.
So this year, join us every day from the 1st to the 24th of December.
I'll be taking you all over our county on some special festive adventures. But you'll also find me here in the kitchen where I'll be sharing with you one of our favourite Christmas traditions.
And this year, for the first time ever, who would like to join me in my Christmas corner for a mystery knit-along? Every other day, I'll be taking you through the next section of a brand new festive design so that by the 24th of December,
We'll have lots of festive adventures.
but together we will also create something very special which we will complete on Christmas Eve.
So we'll see you on the 1st of December.
For the Bakery Bears Advent Calendar 2019.
Oh my goodness! Did you say that with me?
I did, I
Well
said
done.
it at the same time.
Well done, well done. That's what I was hoping for.
Well timed.
Hey, folks, talk about take it to the next level. Yes! Who fancies a Christmas mystery knit-along?
Very exciting. I came up with this idea a couple of months ago, it must be. I just thought about it one morning, as I do when I'm sat at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I told you about it like at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like all excited, and you were like, oh yeah, it's great. I think you were still a bit sleepy at the time.
Yeah.
It just sort of happened organically. It just sort of happened straight away, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it just works perfectly for a something that where you do a little bit of it every day, which is what or every other day it is on the Advent calendar. It just worked just so well.
But like all the best things, you don't just get like the open door chocolate. Oh no, you also get the lovely open door picture. And the picture is where I come in. Because, well, it's not just me. Because also, you'll be joining me too for one or two of them. Yeah. Oh yes, we're sorting out one of them yesterday. It's very exciting. 4 or 5 years ago, it was after I had chemo. You were just wonderful viewers. Were so unbelievably supportive. We wanted to do just something additional, something extra special to say thank you. So we did a Christmas card. And people loved it so much. The next year, people were like, oh, are you going to do another? And as you know, we always want to try and take things and roll with them and take them on to the next level. And that's when the Bakery Bears Advent Calendar started. And we had no idea when we did it for the first time properly in 2015 that it would become probably the thing which I would say most people look forward to all year, because people are always asking. Well, this year, I can tell you folks, because last year, can you believe, last year, right at this time, while we were pulling together last year's Advent Calendar, we were also finishing off the website.
That's true.
The website launched on the 1st of December as well.
Gosh, we had such a busy
It was rather
November
busy.
and December last year.
So we didn't have the same sort of creative capacity to focus on the advent calendar. It was wonderful last year. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we know that you guys loved it.
We did a lot of work on the advent calendar last year.
We did.
Yeah.
But this year, we've had the creative freedom.
We've had a little bit more brain space, haven't we?
To look at the advent calendar and go, right, let's move this on to the next level.
And what can we do that's just... I was just trying to think of, let's keep it to the sort of theme that people love. We know that you love, but
so lots of adventures.
Yeah.
So just imagine, in effect, it's like 12 mini new adventures.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then 12 something else.
Yes.
With me. In a little
Christmas corner.
In a little Christmas corner, and we're creating something lovely.
Yes.
And so
1st of December, it begins. And it runs right through to our Christmas message on the 24th of December. And also on the 24th of December, that is the day when the very first Platinum Collection pattern of 2020 launches. And everyone who is a patron on that day will receive that pattern.
Yeah.
Whilst that pattern, the Platinum Collection normally only goes to gold and platinum patrons as our Christmas gift to all our patrons. Everyone who is a patron on the 24th of December will get a copy of that pattern. Not only all of that, but we've got the Christmas special new adventures coming up too. And I started to panic yesterday.
And you've done loads of work around that already.
Yes, I've been filming. It's the first time I've ever filmed a proper behind the scenes doing it, because there's been a lot of moving parts and elements which are coming together for this.
yes, that very exciting thing.
Yes.
More tears were shed.
Yes. It's going to be a special Christmas this Christmas.
They're all happy tears. They were all happy tears, which is lovely.
This process, for me, has opened up memories, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And we've been talking about all sorts of things.
We were listening to some music the other day, and it just brought back memories, and I just suddenly felt really old.
It's not old.
So
I love it.
This Christmas, I promise you, it's going to be special. But we've got too much to do before then.
We have.
And we've got too much to do in this show. So it's time for me to ask, Kay Jones, what's on your needles?
Well, the first thing I've got, it's a very lovely thing.
That was marvellous.
And thank you.
That's okay.
And I've been wanting to cast this on for a few weeks now, and I finally cast it on. And I am knitting another Moondust.
My favourite
of
all so far
I've got
to wear the Swish and Flick Collection patterns.
Yeah, it was the third pattern in the Swish and Flick.
And when does this get released to the world?
It's actually released today.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
No.
Because the Swish and Flick has now finished, as we've said, the final pattern has gone out today. I decided as well just to get all of the patterns out individually today as well, because I get messages all the time asking me, when's the Moondust coming out? That's a very popular question. When is the Moondust coming out? When is the Burrow wrap coming out? So I thought, right, do you know what? Let's just do it all today. I've given you all this lovely surprise of having that last pattern a week early, so I'm just going to release all of the patterns individually today as well. So you can now purchase, like I say, all 8 patterns. There was originally only going to be 7. There's now 8 because I included the Choose Your House socks within the collection. I explained why I did that way back, but basically it caused issues because of the way that Ravelry works. It caused issues when I removed that pattern off the ebook, so I decided just to put it back in again. So because of that, I thought, well, do you know what, let's just release that one as well as an individual pattern, because that's been another pattern that's been really popular. And there's people within the group I've seen that are knitting sort of 5 and 6 pairs of them as Christmas gifts for this year, because it's a DK weight pair of socks. They knit up super quick. Just a lovely project, and I will show you those actually in Endy Bits. I'm going to go through all of the collection. All of the patterns, as I said, are released today. This one is the Moondust, but that's the design, just to remind you. It's kind of like a scowl, as I like to call it. It's a scarf cum cowl. I know, it's not a very nice word to call something, is it? It's kind of like, it's a scarf that fastens, basically, and it turns into effectively what is a cowl. My original one I knit in like a variegated creamy colour with greys and blues, but I saw this colour, which I showed you when I bought it a couple of weeks ago, and I really wanted to cast another one on. So this is where I'm up to. Oh, and it's just so, this colour is gorgeous. You can see I'm in the straight section now. I've done the first set of decreases here, and now I'm just knitting straight for a number of inches. So the yarn I'm using, I'm almost finished with the first ball, and I've got the second ball wound and ready. Look at the colour. Oh, it's just absolutely glorious. This yarn is the same yarn as I used for the pattern sample, and it's Eden Cottage yarns, and it's her Pendle Chunky, and this colourway is Marigold, and you get, it's 100% superwash superfine merino, and you get 100 meters per 100 grams, and you need 2 of these, and it uses all but a little bit, all but kind of this amount it uses. So it's brilliant, you know, it uses all of your yarn, you don't really have any leftovers, which I think is great. It's a 2-ply chunky, and it's got this gorgeous rope-like texture.
I was going to say it looks like rope.
It does look like rope, yeah. It's beautiful to knit with, and it's so incredibly soft. It's just gorgeous. There's not a, you know, there's not a itch or a prickle or anything in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you've worn this loads, haven't you, the other one?
I have. It's excellent.
And I can't wait to wear this one now, because I think this colour's all right on me. So look, this is the button that I've got, and it'll come through the buttonhole here. Oh, it just looks like the moon, doesn't it? Look, it's beautiful. Look how it shines. Yeah. It's gorgeous. And this is effectively like a sort of like a mother of pearl. It's gorgeous. And you need a 2-inch button.
Is mother of pearl a shell?
It's the inside of an oyster.
Yeah.
It's just going to look beautiful. Now this is such a quick knit, and again I've seen
perfect
people,
for Christmas gifts.
Absolutely perfect. I've seen a lot of people knitting several of these for gifts for Christmas, because you could easily knit one of these in a weekend. You know, probably maybe 3 evenings work, and you will have it done. It's super, super quick. I could have actually just knit the whole thing.
It's the most phenomenal thing in the world to wear ever, because it keeps you warm in all the places you expect, and there's no bulk in places where if you've got a jacket on, you don't want bulk. It's brilliant.
It's lovely. I'm really pleased with it. And you've got the buttonhole there. Oh, and one thing extra I've done actually is I did an update to the pattern last week, I think I did it, and I included a video tutorial on how I work this buttonhole. It's a 1-row buttonhole. It produces a really neat and firm edge all the way around. I think it's brilliant. So nobody had any problems. You know, nobody reported any problems to me in the written instructions, but I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to add that in.
We'd released that and to as part of our tutorials.
Yeah, I'd done it. That's
and patrons loved it so much.
Yeah.
It just seemed to make
all the
sense in the world just to add it to the pattern.
To add it in. So there is a video tutorial now on how to do the buttonhole. So if you're concerned about that at all, I'll just sort of walk you through it. And it's super simple. Well, it is simple, actually. It's not complicated at all. And I love the fact that it's just done all in 1 row. I think he's brilliant. So this is worked on 6mm needles, and I'm using higher for this, which is what I used for the original one. This is a 32-inch cord, but you can work it on a 24-inch because, you know, there's plenty of room because it's knit flat back and forth, so you can do it on a 24 as well. So it's just lovely. I love it. So I'll have this finished really in no time. So yeah, that's the Moondust, and I'm going to carry on with that now, and I'll have it finished for next time, I'm certain, because I want to wear it, and this colour is just fantastic. And if you know the yarn,
like it glows.
Yeah, it does. The yarn is, you know, it's a hand-dyed yarn. It's a little bit on the pricey side. I think absolutely worth it. You know, this is the second time I've bought it now, and I would buy it again in a heartbeat because it's just gorgeous. Gosh, I'd love a blanket in this, but that would be pricey, wouldn't it, to have a blanket in it? So, Dan Jones.
Yes.
What's on your needles?
Look at it. It's my lovely socks.
Oh, have you not finished those yet?
No, I haven't.
Because,
what's going on?
Well, what's going on is I'm knitting 3 garments, and I've been feeling, I've been investing an awful lot of time in the plain knitting on the Clay Quad recently. But also, I've also been knitting an awful lot on the body of the Cascades, which I haven't shown you for a bit because I figure that until I get to some more interesting bits further near the top, you've seen it, and it's lovely. And so we'll come back to that when it gets fun. But I've also been very much sort of enamoured with the knitting flat business. That's weird.
Do you know, it's amazing because you were like, oh, I don't want to knit flat. You've got to find me a pattern that's knitting round. I'm not knitting flat.
Well, look.
And now look at you.
Well, no, I need to get through it all first, and then
make a decision.
Yes, but I'm open. I'm very open to it.
Well, it's brilliant because that just opens doors for all kinds of things.
Well, it's going to be an interesting process to see how I feel after I finish knitting the Oban and Kay's seamed it all together and she's wearing it. If I feel sort of happy and good about it, then on we'll go. But, knowing me, I don't know at the moment. That's why I say, let's get to the end and then see how I feel. But this is the lovely sock. And I said to Kay the other day, what is so interesting now is I can remember, because it's probably only 1 or 2 pairs of socks ago, because it takes me that long to knit them, when turning a heel required
huge amount of concentration,
quietness, stillness. You even say in your tutorials, this is a moment where you might just want to just take a moment and sit quietly in a room.
It's true, yeah, especially when you're turning the heel, when you're sort of back and forth.
And you say, don't break up the process. Get through it all. And that has been my life since I started knitting socks until really I think this heel turn, because I turned this heel without even thinking about it, and that for me was always the point when I was a teacher. When you can do something muscle memory, you don't need to think about it.
You don't need to think about it.
That's when you may have got it. I'm not saying I have, because who knows how this will look when I finished. But I think the point that I love the most, and I know loads of people love this, is I love the difference between, the stitches going that way and the stitches going that way.
The changing direction. It's still magical to me, when that happens. It's brilliant. It's always been my favourite part of knitting socks, is doing the heel flap and the turn and changing direction and all that. It's always been my favourite bit, and that's another reason why I think that I prefer heel flap and gusset, just because I really love the process of it. I really love knitting it, and I'd miss it if it wasn't in the sock. I think I'd find a sock a bit uninteresting if all I had to do was knit a tube with then just short row heel and toe.
I love this pattern. It is engaging enough, but not so engaging. These are the types of projects which I sort of enjoy in those times where you're grabbing a moment to do a bit of knitting.
Yeah.
Because you can look at it and read what's going on, although maybe I didn't manage it quite so well.
You didn't.
On that sock. Whereas this sock, I think I managed it perfectly.
Are you doing better on that one?
Yes. And the other beautiful thing about this design is, and I love any design that's forgiving. So a design where if you make a mistake, you wouldn't know.
No, but I think if it had been just a plain yarn, you might have noticed a bit more.
Yeah. The yarn is just great.
Yeah, the yarn's lovely.
I love this yarn.
It's opal.
It's massively fun to knit with, and the whole striping thing, it took me a long time to sort of fully get people getting excited about getting to the next colour. Well, I now do, because
you always manage to...
Look at that.
Yeah, you always manage on the heel for it to look really nice.
Yes.
Running over this portion, because sometimes you can just get like one rogue row of a different colour.
Do you know what that's called, Kate?
No, it's look. It's not
called skill.
No, it's not. This is Opal Symphony of Dreams, and it's 9617. And
you all know it's skill.
I'm not even going to entertain you. So, did you say it was the Peter pattern?
I haven't yet.
Oh. So that's the Peter pattern.
Yes.
And something else that I've done today as well is that I've done an update to the Peter pattern.
Wow.
And I spoke about this last time, but I'd stumbled across another way of using the little stitch, and I said I was going to do an update to the pattern when I got a sock finished, and I've done that. So this is my completed sock in the sort of alternative way.
Lovely.
of working the stitch, and I've issued an update to the pattern today. So if you bought this previously, then you'll just get that update via Ravelry. But now, there's 2 options in there for you to use that lovely little stitch pattern.
I think that's just superb.
And it looks
totally
really
different.
nice,
If you look at those 2 socks together,
it looks like something completely different.
It does look like something completely different.
Yeah. And I've detailed in there all of the yarns that I used for this particular sample and how many rows I did and things like that. That's all in the pattern as well.
That looks like ropes.
So that update is there today as well. So there we go. Peter pattern updated today. Lovely.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not messing now, I want to knit these.
Well, you can.
Do I get the update?
Well, you might do.
I'm lucky.
I might let you have it.
Because that looks like a totally different pattern, and that looks. I know I love that stitch.
It's very.
And I love it when you learn a skill and then you can apply. And learning how to do a stitch like that is like learning a new skill. And then just by a little subtle change, you get something that looks totally different.
Yeah, and
that's rewarding.
Very unisex as well.
Yes.
Brilliant for a man's sock as well as a lady sock.
So look, I'm flying now. Come on, baby. I am. I'm absolutely flying.
You might have them done for Christmas.
I'm loving every single moment of this. It's one of those projects.
Christmas stocking?
Yes, it's one of those projects. Oh, look, one tiny disaster.
What happened?
You know what happened. You were there. So I cast on the socks, happily knitting away on the rib. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this happened.
I can't remember what happened.
So my yarn. I'm out, I'm knitting.
I don't remember.
I'm out, I'm knitting. And I can't do it because it'll happen again.
Yeah.
The zip was the other side of the yarn.
It had got completely caught around. I couldn't even work it out. I spent 10 minutes looking at it, thinking, I'll be able to get it out.
Because I hadn't zipped it up.
Well, who had then?
But it wasn't zipped up, was it? It was only across like a little bit.
You must have zipped it a little bit.
Because I was knitting.
I know, but you must have zipped it a little bit.
Well,
because it was within the
I'm crazy.
Zip. So I had to cut the yarn in the end and to get it out of the zip. So there's a little join, but
oh joy, oh rapture.
Doesn't matter, does it?
10 rows in. I thought about recasting it on, but you just said it'll be fine.
No,
and it will be fine.
Just weave the ends in. It's fine.
What's on your hook?
Oh yeah,
I threw in an extra one because it's
a bit of crochet to show you, which is exciting.
It's very exciting.
I'm working away on the cowl. Now, my gauge is... The thing that I'm having with this is my gauge seems to be changing constantly.
That looks like the sleeve to Stephen West.
It does a bit, yeah. So this is my crochet cowl.
Do you know what this could be?
What?
This could be the sleeves, which if you chose to, you could crochet and attach to the penguono.
Oh, yeah, you could actually.
It would totally go, wouldn't it?
So I think I was only sort of down here, maybe, before when I showed you. So now I've done all of this. And can you see how my gauge has changed? Because this bit is bigger than this bit, and then this bit's a bit bigger than this bit. And I can tell just looking at it, the stitches are smaller in certain parts than others. And I think it's just, because I'm working on this at bedtime, and I think it's just some nights I'm tireder and maybe I'm working a bit looser, and then other nights I'm a bit more awake and I'm working a bit tighter. So it bothered me for a bit that it's kind of a bit... it's not even that noticeable, I suppose. You can see it a bit here and a bit in this pink. But then I thought, well, do you know what? This is going to be round my neck. No one's going to notice, are they, that some bits are at a slightly looser gauge than others? No. And I'm really enjoying it, so I'm just going to carry on.
You do right. I love the colours that you've chosen.
Yeah, so I'm working this in the round, and I'm just doing double crochet or single crochet if you're in America. And
oh, it looks great.
Yeah, I fixed, thanks to much help from lovely viewers. They told me how to stop getting. Can you see where I've got this seam here very clearly? I had a few comments who told me what to do to stop getting that seam.
And I'm wondering if those comments is what has released this crochet demon in you.
Well, I've just been really interested in crochet the past couple of weeks, and I've been watching loads of crochet podcasts that I'd never heard of. and have been lovely, and I've really enjoyed it. And I've got a couple of crochet stitch dictionaries, just because they were talking about things I had no idea what they were talking about, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just try and educate myself a bit on different stitches, and just this, it's like a whole new world really. I mean, all I've ever crocheted before has been granny squares or granny stripes. That's it really. I was just really interested in it, so I've been watching some lovely podcasts, and it's just been really nice. So I've really enjoyed sort of picking this up every night and just doing, maybe not even, I don't even get like a section done every night, but it's just been really good. But you can now see, look, I'm not getting that seam. Can you see where it stopped? And it's just all lovely now. And you can see there's a bit of a jog where I change colour, but that happens in knitting anyway, doesn't it? It's the same thing because you're working in a spiral. So what I'm doing is I'm alternating just scraps of fingering weight with a solid. And the solid that I'm using it's a Regia, I don't think I've got the ball band, but it's Regia Merino Silk 4-ply. And this is in like a beigey sort of neutral colour with a slight hint to the peach side, I think. And I've got a few balls of this, so I'll have absolutely plenty. And I think I'm using, at the moment anyway, it seems to vary because of my gauge, but I'm using about 7 grams for each stripe. So I'm not sure really how much it's going to take, because I don't even know at this stage how long I need it to be. I want it to double round twice around my neck, so it's a really nice cosy cowl. And I don't want to finish it yet, to be honest, because I just really like doing it. And it's just double crochet, which is the simplest of simplest thing, isn't it? It's like, it's the stitch.
Double crochet would not be the simplest of simplest things for me.
Not for you, no. You really struggle with crochet.
Yes.
But it's the stitch that you use if you're making amigurumi. If you look at it, it's the same stitch. And I'm actually using a 3.75mm hook. It's one of the clover ones. I love these.
So is amigurumi crocheted?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I bought a book recently. Yeah, I mean, they're normally little, aren't they, amigurumi, little things. I'm not sure whether it refers to the fact that they're small or if it's just things that are crocheted, like softies that are crocheted, I'm not sure. Right. But I bought this book recently. We were in Hobbycraft and I saw it, and actually I'd been looking at the patterns on Ravelry just the day before. So I saw it and I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm going to get that. And it's just full of these incredibly cute animals. I think I'll tell you what my plans are. I think I'm going to do this bunny. It's the first pattern, so it's the simplest. It's sort of sectioned off. It starts simple, medium, and then more complicated. Of course, the giraffe appealed to me just because Bryony loves giraffes, but that's in the most complicated section. So I thought, I'm not sure I should be that bold, really, to think that I could do that straight away. But let's see if I can find... Oh, look at the orangutan. It's adorable. I've no idea what stitch this is. Oh, fur stitch. Work fur stitch. Look at him. He's so cute. They're all... there's the giraffe, look. She's called Caitlin. Adorable. So I thought I'll have a go maybe and do one of these for Christmas for Bryony. And I thought, okay... What I might do is, because I'm going to have a go at the rabbit, does anybody remember on Postman Pat, if you ever watch Postman Pat with your children or grandchildren, the little there's a little child on there. The child has a rabbit and the rabbit is green and it's called Green Rabbit. And I thought, oh, I could do it in green and Bryony could then have a green rabbit. So I looked through my yarns and I have got a ball of just Stylecraft DK, which is just an acrylic, but it is in the right sort of green, so I think I'm just going to use that just to give it a go. I don't really want to buy an expensive yarn because these are all done in alpaca, but I don't really want to use an expensive yarn when I've never done it before. So we'll see how that goes. It looks fairly simple. I think I could do it. But yeah, so I'm working away on this and I'm just going to keep going. It looks lovely, doesn't it? I really like it. And I cast on, I chained about 75, I think it was, something like that, and just joined in the round and then just started doing double crochets. yeah, I am magic knotting them, actually. I thought at first magic knotting you might be able to see the knots, and you can sometimes see the knot, but again I just thought, well, nobody's going to see that, are they, around my neck? So I'm just going to magic knot, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm really enjoying that.
Good for you. It looks great. Great colour choices, and it really doesn't look like crochet.
Do you think not?
No. Oh, it certainly doesn't look like crochet that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know, because it's in the round. It looks different, yeah.
Looks great. Not that crochet doesn't look great anyway, but, you know,
I know what you mean, though, yeah.
Like a really sort of...
Just a really nice fabric.
Yeah. So I'm continuing with my lovely... It's not my summer hat, as I called it.
No.
It's my winter hat.
Oh, yeah.
Mon hiver bonnet.
Yes.
Yes. In my best French accent.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yes, I know. I always think, I won't get into it, but we've spoken about this before, we always think if we put accents on, it's slightly insulting to the country where the accents come from.
I know. I
feel like I should pop on a beret and start speaking. Yes. Prepare yourselves. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
We have found Kay's perfect headwear.
No, stop it.
Will be modelled later for you.
Oh, gosh.
So, I like it a lot, but I find it quite challenging.
It's lovely.
But that's good, because that's what I wanted from this. And I wanted it to be challenging so that when I hit the colour work section on the clay quat, it will feel easier, because I've done such a challenging one here. Do you know what I mean? If you do something tricky, you hit something, then it feels straightforward, and hopefully that will enhance my chances of making a lovely sort of flat fabric.
It looks beautiful.
I'm really glad that you think so, and I'm looking forward to getting through and getting it finished. It's frustrating in the sense of I really have to concentrate because the repeats are long, and there's no rhythm to them.
You could have put stitch markers in, I suppose, couldn't you, if that might have been helpful.
I'm not certain that it would, unless I actually broke up the long repeats, but then I would have to have started drawing probably on the chart as well. All things I could have done, but to be honest, I sort of want the challenge of the long repeat. That just means it takes me a bit longer to knit it, because if I sit and knit on this for half an hour, I've probably only done a couple of rounds. And so, you know...
But you'll get there.
Oh, absolutely, I'll get there, and I'm really enjoying the process.
It looks beautiful.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? It's about enjoying the process. Be really careful of those...
Yes, I can see your stitches, honey.
Well,
I am a knitter.
I know.
Look how lovely it is.
The yarn is really good. It's perfect for...
Oh, lovely.
It's perfect for colour work. You know, the colours are very festive, which is exactly what we wanted. It's cranberry and white, and it's merino blend. It's King Cowl Merino Blend 4-ply.
Here, give me
50 grams superwash, and the sheep on the ticket.
The ticket. That's the most terrible description of a yarn I've ever heard in my life. It's this one. And it's really nice. It's a little bit toothy, I think. It's not... I mean, it does say it's anti-tickle. I'm not completely convinced about that, to be honest.
Maybe that's the lady who made it.
Maybe if that sheep there wore it, it would be anti-tickle to the sheep.
That sounds like a Justin Fletcher character.
It does, yeah. Oh, Justin Fletcher. Oh, my goodness, dearie me.
Mr. Tumble.
Oh, dreadful, dreadful programme. And he keeps getting more programmes on CBeebies. We saw one advertised the other day for a new variation. And Brian is like, oh, I cannot believe, like, he's got another show. But the young kids must really like him, is all I can think.
So, yes, thoroughly enjoying my winter hat.
There's
and
your
hopefully...
ticket.
Yes, thank you for my ticket. And hopefully I will have it finished very soon. Show us something else lovely, please.
Well, this is actually like 2 projects in one.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
Is that not possible?
I can't allow that.
Right,
no, of course I can allow that.
I'm going to say I was ignoring you anyway.
Please continue, caller.
I was ignoring you. I've been doing some work on my Bits and Bobs blanket, and it led on to...
Something very exciting.
Something else. But this isn't my blanket. This is the second Bits and Bobs that I
bet you wish you'd had that blanket this morning.
Yes.
She couldn't find her cardigan.
I couldn't find my pyjama cardigan this morning.
So what did you have to do?
It was somewhere random in the bedroom.
That sounds wrong, Kate.
Well, it wasn't in its normal spot.
Right.
So I couldn't find it. So I had to wrap myself up in a blanket.
Oh.
Like I
missed it.
Like I
bet she looks so cute.
A little old lady.
Yes. Old lady.
So this is my second bits and bobs that I'm working on. I think the last time I showed you I was in this sort of bluey section here. So now I'm working this lovely green yarn. This is folded over, so it's twice this width. But you can see now how long it is. I'm getting there, look.
You are.
I just started my third skein of the background colour. To knit the size that's in the pattern, it uses 5 skeins. So I'm probably about halfway through now. But I'm not in any great rush. I just pick this up whenever I fancy working on it. And usually I get through sort of 6 inches or so in each sort of little session that I do. So eventually, I'll have another lovely blanket. But I was working on this and I saw in our Facebook group one of our patrons had just cast on a new blanket, a new bits and bobs, and she was using all Christmas yarns. Well, I thought about this for a couple of days and I thought I can't possibly cast on another blanket. But then yesterday I suddenly thought, do you know what? I could do this because I could do a scarf. I could do a Christmas scarf.
Woohoo!
This is going to be something probably that I'll work on for the next couple of years, because the idea that I thought with this is that I would only work on it in November and December, and then I'd just see how far I got, and then I'd put it away and then bring it out again next November when I felt Christmassy again.
Yeah.
Or maybe do some in July, Christmas in July. Whatever, but I liked the idea of having something that I could look forward to for next year.
Yeah.
And I've only just started it this year. What the lady was making, I couldn't really tell if she was doing a solid background colour or if she was just mixing all the yarns together, because she'd only just started it. But I thought what I would do, because I actually had, in my stash, I had a skein of Cascade Heritage in Christmas Red.
Oh.
So this is what kind of swayed me. It is just the perfect Christmas red, isn't it? It's gorgeous. And I've actually ordered, I only had one of these and I knew I'd need more than one.
What type of yarn is that?
It's Cascade Heritage.
Lightweight?
Fingering weight.
Oh, okay.
It's sock weight yarn.
Do they do a 4-ply?
Well, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's just that in England we call...
Oh. It's all too much.
4-ply.
How are you supposed to understand?
We didn't have fingering weight yarn. It wasn't a term that was ever used.
So we had 4-ply?
It was, you had lace weight, you had 4-ply, you had double knitting, you had Aran weight, and then chunky. But, the fingering weight thing came across from the US, but I believe it's a French word. It relates to a French word.
This is like the whole clock changing thing. Agree on a terminology and let's speak it globally.
I know, but I just tend to call it sock weight yarn, to be honest, because then I'm covering the sort of
avoiding
bases.
confusion.
Yeah, because actually, if you bought a 4-ply yarn here, say for example a Debbie Bliss or a Rowan 4-ply yarn, I think it's thicker than fingering weight. I think fingering weight is actually thinner than 4-ply.
Well, that looks thinner than the 4-ply I'm knitting.
I'm sure. This is why I think it's difficult to knit socks with like a UK 4-ply yarn, because I think a 4-ply is more like what Americans would call a sport.
So what should you knit socks with in this country?
Sock weight, a fingering weight, a sock weight yarn.
But what did we call it before fingering weight?
Like opal.
What did we call it before fingering weight?
We didn't have a saying for fingering weight. We didn't have...
So what did people use to knit socks?
4-ply.
Right.
They were
so
just
it was
thicker. They were thicker socks. I think socks traditionally were just thicker.
Okay. So actually, this is a whole new... We've just established there that it is thinner.
It's not
really 4-ply.
Personally, I think it's... No, I don't think fingering weight is the same as 4-ply.
Right.
But whenever you see it kind of listed, some people call it 4-ply and some people call it fingering weight.
Right.
The other confusion is that 4-ply in this country is a terminology we use for a weight of yarn. It doesn't necessarily mean there are 4 plies of yarn within that yarn.
Goodness, well, I didn't know that either.
No. Because you could have a 4-plied yarn and it could be a DK weight.
Yeah, of course.
So it is a bit of a minefield, isn't it? And personally, I think it would be great if we, if
everyone just adopted the
everybody just adopted the same Yes, but, you know, that's never going to happen, is it?
No.
That'll be a 4-ply, I would have thought.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Karen.
And it is called 4-ply, that, but it is definitely thicker.
Yeah.
The King Cowl that Dan's using is definitely thicker than this. But anyway, this is Cascade Heritage in Christmas Red, and I only had one. And I only bought this fairly recently, so I thought, right, I'll go back to Wool Warehouse and see if they've got any more. And they didn't. It was sold out. I'm guessing it's because it's coming up for Christmas. So I thought, right, okay, I'll look on Lovecrafts, and they did have they had 2 skeins left, and that was all, so I've ordered the 2 skeins. Now, I know it's going to be a different dye lot, but I think because I'm using it as a background colour, I'm hoping I'll be okay. I'm hoping it won't be too different, but it's just a gorgeous red. So that's what I'm using as the background colour. And then what I did yesterday was I just went through all of my leftovers and minis, and I just pulled out all of the kind of greens and golds and silvery colours to work with it, and, you know, the bits of icy blue, anything that I thought looked festive, basically. And I cast on a scarf. So I only cast this on yesterday, and I'm this far. Oh, I really like it. To me, it's funny because I think when you work this bits and bobs in a darker colour as the background, or in my case a sort of brighter colour, I think it makes it look like tweedy.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Rather than stripy. You know, if I hold up the blanket, you can see the defined sort of stripes of colour. But this, I think, looks like tweed, and I really like that. It just feels very different. So I've used 3 different colours in this so far. I started with a green at the bottom, and then I went into a silvery grey, and then this is actually like a pale gold. And I cast on 53 stitches for this, and then otherwise it'll be worked exactly the same as the blanket. I'm just going to keep going until it's a million miles long, because scarves always need to be much longer than you think. I think they say, don't they, that a scarf should be as long as you are tall, because then it's plenty to wrap around once or twice and hang to sort of about your waist level. So I will just keep going and just choosing yarns randomly that I think will look nice. You know, it might take me, like I said, 2 or even 3 Christmases to get it finished. But that's fine, you know, and I'm just really enjoying it. And it's nice, actually, to have something that's just feels like a few stitches. It doesn't feel like very many stitches. You know, 53 stitches is not that many, is it? But because of the nature of this fabric, it's very stretchy width-wise. So you don't actually need that many stitches to create a really good sized blanket. I reckon this is about 12 inches or something like that, maybe, which I thought was a good size. And then I will put the edging all the way around. I've got my original one here, actually, just to show you. This is my original bits and bobs, which is used constantly. But you can see I put a I-cord edging all the way around. So I'll be doing that on the scarf as well. And I thought I might use a really nice green, you know, like something like one of these.
Yeah, good idea.
And then it'll look even more ridiculously festive, won't it? And it'll just be the scarf that every Christmas I can get out and put on, and it'll remind me of all the Christmases that I worked on it. And I think that's just really nice. It's like a little memory thing. And I'm all about the association of projects to nice memories.
Yeah.
A really lovely thing to work on, and I'll just keep going.
Now it's time to get exciting, because like we said at the start of the show, as fast as this knit or forfeit season begins, it's racing towards its end, and today we're going to find out what Kay's final score is as she undertakes her final round of knit or forfeit in the Champion of 2019. It's 10 questions, and every single one of them is about knitting.
The what? Chinese waitress?
Yes, but we have 3 lifelines.
I've got a feeling the Black Welsh Mountain looks a bit more horny.
The winner gets to choose anything that the loser has to knit for them. Well, it's lucky that you did, because you're right. Welcome Welcome back, everyone, to Knit or Forfeit, the quiz show just for knitters. No one would have thought that line was so hard. Now, folks, for those of you who don't know the rules, we have 10 questions all about knitting. We have 3 lifelines if we need help with our questions. And if we can go for the question without seeing the multiple choice answers, we get 2 points. Oh yes. Now, what are the scores? Let's have a look. Yes, it's 9 to Team K, it's 7 to Team Dan, and today is an important day because today's the day we find out what is the total that I need to beat to retain my crown of Knit or Forfeit. Oh yes, because today it's time for K's final round. This is exciting, folks. So I think we should bring her in straight away and get on with the show. What do you think? Yes, let's do it. Let's meet today's challenger. Here she is, back for another triumphant round. Oh yes. Folks, now, as the competition ramps up, I pull out the famous dinner jacket. Yes, this is the one that was purchased for me when I was 18 years old, and it fits now today nearly as well as it did back then. It even has, I've even put the trousers on because Kay shamed me last round. You shamed me.
Did I?
Yes, you did, because you said, oh, if you stand up, he doesn't look quite so handsome because he's got his jeans on. Oh no, today I have on.
But you've got your Han Solo ones.
Yes.
Because I customised them.
You did? 4 years ago. Today, it's time for Kay's round of Knit or Forfeit. But before we do any of that, we need to find out who won the last prize. It is Miss Gelato.
Yeah, what does she like to eat straight from the jar?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes. Now,
I didn't know the answer to this, actually. I had to look it up myself.
some people got it wrong.
Did they?
Yeah. Some people said gelato.
No.
Now, folks, if you need to just double check, please do go back and check on the page with all this information on, because it does not say gelato. I shall tell you what it says.
Plus, you don't get ice cream in a jar, do you?
No, it'd be a tub, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or a cone.
Okay.
Straight from the cone.
Yeah.
It's salted caramel sauce. Who is the winner?
The winner. Okay, so what I did was I put a post up stopping the last one effectively, so then the new entry started from the number after that. So it started at number 149 and it went through to entry 267. We then had 15 emailed entries, so I added that on top. So it was 149 to 282, and the winner was 227, and that's Layla Spencer 15 on Ravelry.
Woohoo!
And that's, I think it's either Leela or Layla. And she's in the UK.
Wow.
So,
and either way you pronounce the name, I love it.
Yeah, so let's say Layla.
It may be neither of the things that we've mentioned.
Absolutely. Yes, it could be something entirely different. But in any case, she has won the Miss Potter Sock Club number 2 collection. What I will do is I will just get that sent through to you on Ravelry, because I've got your Ravelry name, so I will just forward that through with a little message saying, yay, well done.
Today, we will have one final question, because next round is the final round, so then obviously the competition ends, so we can't have another question then. So today is the final question, and this prize is humongous. Way, way bigger than either of those first 2 prizes. We've been building up to this. Right. It's so unbelievably exciting, so stay tuned. We will have a question at the end of today's show, and please do answer in exactly the same ways that you have done the last 2. So if you don't use Ravelry, send us an email. You can find out how to contact us by email if you drop on our website and just click contact. Or if you do use Ravelry, post in the thread.
Yes, the thread. It just says Knit or Forfeit question on the thread.
So
just
post your answer there.
Post your answer in there.
And I would urge you strongly to properly research your answer. Please don't get it wrong. Because if your number comes up, we want you to be a winner.
Yeah.
Folks, it's time for us to get on with the show. Now, we know when the competition begins because we hear a sound like this. And if you're ready, do you want to add to your total of 9?
Well, I'd like to.
Excellent. So we shall begin with question 1. What type of projects would the Chinese waitress cast-on be particularly appropriate for?
Right, give me the answers.
Okay, so Kay is opting to hear the multiple choice answers. And the choices are A, projects that require stretch, like hats, gloves or socks. B, projects that require you to keep the cast-on edge live. C, Two-sided projects like scarves or blankets where both sides are visible. Or D, projects that require a particularly firm cast-on edge.
Not a clue. Well, I don't think it's the keeping the stitches live because that's a provisional cast-on. Mentally, I'm kind of dismissing the stretchy one, which was the first one, wasn't it?
It was.
The two-sided thing, I've never heard of that. I think you've made that up.
Remember, you have 3 lifelines.
I know, but it's only question 1, for goodness sake.
Well, I never care what question it is.
Does anybody know the answer to this? Have you ever heard of that cast-on? And I've got a book of cast-ons and bind-offs, and I've never heard of that. Maybe I do want to use a lifeline. Maybe I'll go 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. So, with 50-50, we take away 2 incorrect answers, and we leave, Kay, with 2 answers. That didn't sound very good.
No, with 2 answers.
We are left with B, projects that require you to keep the cast-on edge live, or C, two-sided projects like scarves or blankets where both sides are visible.
Well, I'll have to go for the 2 sides are visible thing because it's a provisional cast-on where you keep them live, isn't it? I've never heard it called anything other than a provisional cast-on. So I'm going to go with the 2-sided thing.
Okay. Are you locking it in?
Yes.
Okay, it's locked in, baby. Kay has gone with C, two-sided projects like scarves or blankets where both sides are visible. Is she adding to her 9? Has she gone into double figures? Is her score now 10? Yes, it is! Whoa!
Why is it called a Chinese waitress?
If I remember it correctly, and please, if I mess this up, I know nothing. But I think it's a variation on a long tail, the Chinese waitress, and it creates a lovely looking edge on both sides.
Right.
So perfect
Goodness.
for blankets and
Well,
scarves.
I need to look that up. I've never heard of that.
I know, it looked really nice.
I don't know where you find these things.
Neither do I. Are you ready for question 2?
Yes, go on.
Okay, this is a good one.
Right.
In October 1985, I turned 10, just like Kay's score. Wow. Giles Brandreth and George Hostler published Whitnits, a collection of lively and original hand-knitted designs.
Right.
They called on some of the most famous models in the world for the pattern pictures. Would you like to take a look at some of the models?
Okay.
Here's the front of Whitnits.
Oh my gosh.
Bonnie Langford,
Bonnie Langford.
Joanna Lumley, Richard Bryars, Christopher Biggins. But look, Matthew Kelly,
Oh my gosh.
John Inman.
Look at the cockatoos on that.
It's marvellous.
That's hilarious.
Yes, now one of the hottest shows on British TV at that time was Heidi High, and this man was one of the main characters in the show.
I remember him.
Can you name either the actor or the character that he played?
No,
Or the character
I
he
remember
played?
him,
Cool.
but I have not a clue.
Okay, so I'll give you the multiple choice answers. So is it A, Geoffrey Fairbrother / Simon Cadell? Is it B, Spike Dixon / Geoffrey Holland?
No.
Is it C, Ted Bovis / Paul Shane?
No.
Oh man, I could not stand him singing that theme song.
No.
It was awful. Or is it D, Clive Dempster / David Griffin?
No, it's the first one. I think
Okay.
it's the first one.
Okay, so you think this is Geoffrey Fairbrother. Professor Geoffrey Fairbrother actually was the...
Why does it say Pa on his jumper? Oh, Pa Avion, right,
Yes,
okay.
yes. A wonderful design by that tremendous knitwear designer that is Giles Brandreth.
He is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
and he was on Strictly recently reading the silly thing
Right.
that they have to read, and he had a knitted jumper on there.
Right.
With
Which
his
he
names
probably-
on,
ah,
with his
right.
name on, yeah.
So you think that's...
I think it's Simon Cadell. Yeah, I do.
Geoffrey Fairbrother?
Geoffrey, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Has she added to her score because she's locked it in? Oh, yes, you have, haven't you? You have locked it in.
Yes, final
good.
answer.
Final answer, okay. Has she reached 11? She has! Whoa! Congratulations.
It's only because I knew it wasn't the others.
Right. Well, there you go.
So it was yeah.
So, are you ready for question 3? You're doing
Yes,
well.
yes.
2 correct answers, only 1 lifeline used this round.
Okay.
Question 3. What type of knitting is the trellis stitch traditionally used in?
Trellis.
Yes.
Okay. Don't know.
Okay.
I need the answers.
Answers are on the way. Is it A, double knitting? Is it B, lace knitting? Is it C, colourwork knitting? Or is it D, Aran knitting?
Well, I don't think it's double knitting because there isn't really very many stitches in double knitting, is there? You're just double knitting.
Be very careful not to answer because I was about to start answering.
I don't think it's double knitting. Aran, did you say Aran?
I did.
I'm presuming you mean like Aran jumpers
with
the cables and everything on.
Yes.
Again, I don't. It's not telling me that it's that one. Lace is the one that's sort of jumping out because the trellis is, it's what plants grow up, isn't it? And it's like a crisscross of wood, and there's holes in between. So that would tell me that it was lace. What was the fourth one?
Well, Aran knitting is D.
Well, I've got to go with my gut, I suppose, haven't I? And say I don't know the answer.
Okay.
So I'm going to go. Oh, honey, I'm not looking.
They weren't there.
I'm not even looking. I can't. It's just a blur. I'll go B, lace.
Okay. That's your final answer.
Yes.
You don't want to use a lifeline.
No.
Okay. So, is she correct? She's gone with lace knitting. Is that the answer? It isn't.
It's not.
No.
Oh, what is it?
It's D, Aran knitting.
Aran knitting.
Yeah.
Trellis stitch.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It looks like a trellis fence. It's like...
How is that not lace?
Basically, what it looks like is, and this is where I just show myself.
Is it like the hat? Is it like that? That hat that's blocking down there?
No. It's like flat. It's like normal knitting.
So it must be twisted
with
stitches.
With cables.
Oh, cables
coming across it.
Oh, right.
And they make like
right.
like chevron.
I know what you mean.
Yes.
I know what you mean. Right, okay.
So unfortunately you got that question wrong.
Oh.
So out of 3 questions so far, 2 right, 1 wrong.
Okay.
But it's a good start. You've only used 1 lifeline. Question 4.
Okay.
Did you know that sheep have rectangular pupils, which has a very interesting effect on their vision?
Right.
Did you know that?
I didn't, but sheep's eyes are weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if you look at them, that is what makes them weird.
Yeah.
I never realised.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you tell me what their estimated field of vision is in degrees? To give you an example, humans average around 155 degrees.
Well, no, I can't answer it, obviously.
Okay, cool. I was astounded at this. So here we go. Here are the potential answers. So just remember that humans average around 155 degrees. So is it A, 110 to 160 degrees? Is it B, 270 to 320 degrees?
Right.
Is it C, 170 to 220 degrees? Or is it D, 50 to 100 degrees?
Well, I don't think it's A or D.
Right.
I kind of think it's got to be a broader field of vision than humans. Because they have more things to worry about, don't they?
You are exactly right.
We're not watching out for wolves coming to...
Or humans.
Yeah, or humans, yeah, true. So it's got to be one of the higher ones. What were the other 2 then?
So you've removed A and D.
A and D, it's not A and D.
And you're left with B and C. 270 to 320 degrees.
Wow.
Or 170 to 220 degrees.
I'm going to go with the highest one.
Okay.
Let's be bold. Let's think. I'm just trying to think, rectangular like that. I'm going to go with the highest one, whatever that was.
Okay, so it is B, 270 to 320 degrees.
Yeah.
Are you locking that one in?
Yeah.
Right. So, Kay thinks that sheep have virtually surround sound viewing.
Surround sound?
You know where it comes from all directions. Because it's 360 degrees is total, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that they're only 40 degrees off being 360 degrees.
It sounds a little outlandish now
but you've locked it in.
But I'm going to, yeah.
Well, it's lucky that you did, because you're right.
That's right.
Can you believe that?
Wow. Gosh, that's amazing. So they don't even need to turn their heads. They can already see,
they're going to see
behind
you
them.
So well done, you got that one right.
Yeah.
So out of 4 questions, you've got 3 correct, which puts you on the very reputable score already of 12.
Right, okay.
There's a chance I might not even get 12.
Information, but okay.
Yes. Are you ready for question 5?
Yes.
Okay, take a look at this lovely sheep.
Oh,
Isn't he lovely?
yeah.
This is one of the North European short-tailed sheep breeds, and it was a domestic animal from the Iron Age. It's compact and lightly built, and it manages well outdoors most of the year. Wool colours include black and white, but also grey and brown. It produces long protective wool and is traditionally spun into 2-stranded, tightly spun yarn. It was very popular historically as it was light, stable, and it absorbed little moisture.
Right.
Can you name the sheep breed?
Well, it's a long wool, isn't it? Obviously, looking at the length of those locks. But no, I don't know what that lovely sheep is.
Okay. Is it A, Spelsow? Is it B, Blueface Leicester?
No.
Is it C, Teeswater?
No.
Is it D, Suffolk?
No. I want to say no. I don't think Suffolk is a long wool, but I could obviously be completely wrong. I want to go with A, I think.
Right. Okay, she's looking confident.
No, I'm not confident.
I can see a
at
glint
all.
in your eye.
No, I'm not. But I know it's not a BFL.
Okay.
I don't think it's a Teeswater. Let's stick with that. I think I've seen pictures of Suffolks, I'm sure, and I just don't think it's a long wool like that. I'm going to go with Spelsow.
Okay, final answer.
Yeah.
Is locked in. There's no going back now. Is she correct?
No.
Yes, she is! Whoa! Oh, congratulations. I was fascinated to know that that's been a domesticated animal since the Iron Age.
Iron Age.
The Ice
Where's
Age,
it
what
from?
it is.
What?
It's from like Finland, Iceland, Sweden.
Right, yeah.
And I loved the fact as well that historically people loved using it in garments because it was light, stable, and it absorbed little moisture, so it wouldn't get all...
You wouldn't... So if it was raining out,
Yeah,
you're not going to
like
get
a
completely
raincoat.
soaked. It wicks away.
Yeah. It's time for a little drink. Oh, yes. As we move on to question 6. On December the 24th, 2018, you launched your Platinum collection of patterns with the All Is Calm socks, inspired by snow gently falling on a winter's day. You followed that up with 7 more wonderful patterns. So now can you believe you've done 8 and you're about to launch your 9th?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But can you name the 3rd Platinum pattern which you launched in June 2018? So the All Is Calm was the first one.
Not a clue.
And what we want to know is what the 3rd one was.
I don't know the answer to that. So I'm going to have to hear the answers.
Could you hazard a guess? We're not locking it in. If you can't, don't worry.
No, so the All Is Calm was December.
Yeah, so what came after the All Is Calm?
Not a clue.
Okay.
You'll have to give me the answers.
The choices are A, Blizzard socks, B, the Twister, C, Dandelion socks, or D, Mon Ami.
It's not Mon Ami and it's not Blizzard. I feel like Mon Ami was 2018.
Sorry.
That can't be right.
2017. It was your 3rd ever Platinum
Right,
pattern.
well, hang on. Because the Mon Ami was inspired by Murder on the Orient Express.
It was.
That film came out in a November. Which November was it? So it can't be the Mon Ami then, can it? Because that would mean that film came out a year ago. It can't be only a year ago. And I wouldn't have released a thick hat like that in the summer, would I? It wasn't Blizzard because that was a Christmassy one. So it's either... What was it? Tell me the answers again.
So, do you want me to leave out the one that you've discounted?
It's not Blizzard.
Okay, so it's either B, the Twister, C, the Dandelion socks, or D, Mon Ami.
You see, it could be the Dandelion socks because they were ages ago. Right, the Dandelion socks were inspired, obviously, by dandelions.
Yes.
Dandelions are out in sort of spring, aren't they?
Yes.
Spring going into summer.
Yes.
So if I released it in June, that would make sense because I would have seen dandelions before that. Let's go with dandelion socks.
Okay. She didn't know the answer straight away, but after hearing the answers, she's opted for the dandelion socks. Is she right? Well, you're going to have to come back later on in the show to find out. Oh my goodness, so thank you so much for watching the first part of Knit or Forfeit. Kay's off to a great start. Has she got this next question correct? We'll see you in part 2 and we'll find out. Oh no! Is she right? You'll find out later in the show. Oh yes, I'm so mean. Huge congratulations to Layla Spencer. Leela.
We decided.
Sorry.
Oh, still obviously not
Leela,
sure.
please tell us.
I'm so sorry, Leela.
What's the right way to say your name? But huge congratulations for winning the prize. And folks, stay tuned because there will be a chance to win just the best prize ever coming in part 2 of Knit or Forfeit. It's huge. It's humongous. And also, I have to say thank you to the lovely lady who sent me through the information about Whitnits.
Oh, really?
Yes. I had a Ravelry message from a lovely lady who told me all about Whitnits, sent me through pictures and all sorts. So thank you so much, because that then spawned the question, Simon Cadell, Geoffrey Fairbrother. But also, there were so many people in there, people I haven't seen for years. Do you remember Faith Brown?
Yes.
Faith Brown was in there, doing a bit of modelling. Jane Asher was in there, Anne Diamond.
Gosh, wow.
Talk about 1980s heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Literally everyone. Because Giles Brandreth, I think he was on TVAM, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean...
I can't remember what he did on it, but... Yeah.
Amazing sort of knitwear designer, as we said.
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
But perhaps not the designs that were in Whitnits.
No.
They look a tiny bit 80s.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's really... what today's knitter wants to make.
Yes. Check out the parakeets on that.
Yes.
Were they parakeets on John Inman's?
Cockatoos. I'm not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure the difference actually between
you're probably
parakeets
right.
No, cockatoos are the ones that have the.
I think it.
The thing, aren't they? Parakeets don't have that. I don't think.
Right. Well, I
do
think
they?
it was a.
Cockatoos are white, aren't they? And
it was white. And anyway.
I've no idea. My bird knowledge is not that good.
It's time to find out, Kay Jones, what is off your needles?
Absolutely loads.
What shall we start with?
Well, shall we start? Let's start with the Swish and Flick, shall we?
Okay. Oh, she's going to build up to...
I'm building up to the...
Stay tuned.
The thing on the head.
Stay tuned. Oh, goodness. Go on.
Right.
Let's look at the Swish and Flick.
So, yes, the final pattern for the Swish and Flick comes out today.
What is it?
So before I show you that, I thought I would just quickly whiz through all 8 of the designs. Well, you've never seen them all together. No. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on it, but I thought it'd be fun just to show you them all.
I'm going to need a sugar and drink after all this.
I've dug them all out. Some of them have been worn, a lot of them haven't, because I've specifically kept them. So the first one that was released was the Choose Your House socks. Now this was the one that was a bonus pattern for people who purchased the pre-order. But as I said before, we had that bit of an issue with Ravelry and things. So this is now included within the Swish and Flick. So these are a DK weight pair of socks.
They're lovely.
Just so nice. Worked in house colours. This is my pair. Brian, he got the other 2. The Slytherin and... Slytherin and Hufflepuff, and I got Gryffindor and Ravenclaw.
Yes.
So I have worn these quite a lot,
and
they're wearing brilliantly well. Yeah. There's a bit of fuzz look, but they're super cosy, just brilliant for this time of year. And knit up super quick.
They're great.
So that's the Choose Your House socks.
Lovely job.
So then the first pattern was, of course, the burrow wrap. This was based on book 1.
Yes.
And it's super long and just gorgeous and cosy and just beautiful. And, you know, again, I've had people who have knit 2 of these, they're maybe on their 3rd. The comments that I've had is that it's just such a lovely knit, which is fantastic. You know, that's all I want for people to enjoy it. And it's just this gorgeous, huge wrap scarf. It's more of a wrap, actually.
Yeah.
Held with mohair. It's fingering weight held with mohair lace. I actually just ordered a ball of a new yarn that I saw from Rowan. It's it was quite expensive, and I've been looking at it for a while, but I really want to try it. It's like the mohair silk lace weight, but it's actually mohair, cashmere and silk. It looks gorgeous. So I've ordered one ball just to have a look at it.
What was next?
So the next one was the Whispers in the Walls socks.
I love these socks.
And this was from Chamber of Secrets. They're gorgeous.
I love them so much.
Lovely panel down the front.
I love the sword bit down the back.
Yeah, and then the Gryffindor sword down the back.
Just phenomenal.
Beautiful. And these were knit with Regia Merino yak.
It's great yarn.
It's beautiful, yeah.
It feels lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Whispers in the Walls.
Lovely.
We then had Moondust. I've already spoken, obviously, about Moondust, but this was the original sample. This is
Belongs
Dan's.
to me.
And this has got a more kind of gold moon. So that's Moondust.
Oh, it's just marvellous.
We then had the Twinkle and Dance socks, based on Goblet of Fire, the Yule Ball scene. Super lovely and pretty.
Just gorgeous.
Twinkle and Dance. Pink Sugar was next, which is a gorgeous fingering weight hat with a lovely mohair pom-pom.
It's the only way that pom-poms should be made.
Yeah, and this has got beads in. If you can see, there's little beads in the middle of those diamonds. So that's Pink Sugar. We then had the Dumbly shawl, was the last one, obviously, that I showed you. And this was a worsted weight, giant of a shawl, beautiful.
Wrap yourself in the power
Just
of
gorgeous.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, this is Malabrigo Rios, and you need 3 skeins of each for that. So that's the Dumbly shawl. So that then brings us to the final design. I really felt I wanted to finish with a pair of socks because they're my favourite thing to design, my favourite thing to knit. And like I said, this design was one of the first ones that I came up with. The idea for it just came into my head really easily. You know, it just fit the theme perfectly. And these are the Shell Cove socks, based on the final book, and in particular Shell Cottage and the environment that Shell Cottage is in, and the whole feeling of the place, the seasidey sort of feel of where it is. So these are the Shell Cove socks. They have a panel that runs down the outside of each of the legs, so the other side is just plain knit, so it runs down the outside leg. And this panel has got a little row of like a lace detail down the middle, which is depicting shells on the beach. And then the garter either side is, do you know when the tide's just gone out and the sand is all ripply? That's what I think it looks like. That's what, you know, the image I had in my head was shells sort of, you know, strewn down the beach with this ripply sand. So that's the idea that I had, and they were just a joy to knit, and my testers really enjoyed this one as well because it's just got that enough going on each row to keep you interested, but then you've just got that lovely stocking stitch on one side as well, and it's perfect for speckly yarn.
And it was when I saw this and I saw the motif that you put on it that to me I could sort of see footprints running down wet sand, and I just imagined, you know, someone on holiday at Shell Cottage, and then I'm thinking, well, who is that? And why are they there? And that's how that's what was referring to at the start. It's how the whole Clementine story then started to grow.
And just gorgeous in this speckled yarn. This is from Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, and it's called the Cornish Way. You know, and I think Shell Cottage is meant to be on the Cornish coast. So it's just perfect, and it's like a peachy coloured yarn with speckles of like gold and then a darker peach. Just gorgeous. And Kelly said she should have some of this in her shop available if you'd like to actually use the yarn that I used. And I didn't put in a contrast heel or anything with these because I just wanted, because I loved the speckles so much. If I show you the side that's just plain, it's just gorgeous. And I just wanted the yarn to sort of shine with this one. And with this as well, I used my cottage toe, and the reason I call it the cottage toe, I have to sort of put the sock the right way round to show you, but I thought it looked like the roof of Shell Cottage. So that's why I've called it the cottage toe. And so it fit perfectly, you know, with the actual theme. So that's Shell Cove.
And that's available to buy.
And this is
everything that you've seen is available to buy as separate patterns.
Yes, everything that you've seen that I've just shown you is now available to purchase separately from Ravelry straight away, and then Lovecrafts might take an extra day because their systems are just a little bit longer to get patterns up. So that might be another day or two. But Ravelry, you can go and purchase any of these patterns right now.
Cool.
So it feels weird to have finished it.
Yeah.
Because this has been going all year, and this has been part of my life for a year. So it does feel sort of strange. But then good, on the other hand, to have concluded it in such a beautiful way with your story as well.
Absolutely.
It's just gorgeous, and I really hope you enjoy that, the last part. I honestly was in tears. And, you know, Bryony read it. She approved of it. She thought it was lovely. Yeah, so...
What's next?
Right, I'll do this next, and then we'll finish with the thing that you want.
The high point.
I was on Wool Warehouse a few weeks ago, and I was about £1.50 under the amount for free shipping. So I thought, what can I buy for like £2 or something that will just take me over the free shipping? I think we all do that, don't we? And I saw these little balls of yarn. Oh my goodness. They're 25 grams. It's by Rico, and it's called Rikarumi. 25 grams of a DK weight cotton, 100% cotton, and you get...
And there was patterns on...
Yeah, there's whole pattern books, I think, for these.
For amigurumi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, that was the Sirdar one.
Sorry, that was rubbish.
There's a similar yarn. I did actually buy a couple of the equivalent in Sirdar, which is a bit more expensive, but I didn't like it as much. No. But you can... Obviously, these are perfect for little amigurumis, but also great for blankets as well, I think. But you get 57.5 metres for 25 grams. So I shoved a couple of these in my cart and didn't think anything of it. And then when they came, it dawned on me that it's the perfect amount to knit my wash mitt pattern that I put out. It's about 1.5 years ago now. So I became obsessed buying these cute little balls of yarn and knitting up some wash mitts as Christmas gifts. And as I was doing that, I made a couple of little tweaks to the pattern. And also, because this yarn is so perfect for them, I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to update the pattern and just include these couple of little tweaks. I'll do some fresh photos, and also within that sort of process, I kind of wanted to change the name. It was originally the Three Bears wash mitt.
Because that was actually, you created the design as a tutorial series for patrons. And that's still, that Three Bears wash mitt will still be there for patrons. But the Ravelry pattern, you've renamed it, quite rightly so.
I've renamed it because these little balls of yarn are 99 pence each. So that instantly made me think of a 99 ice cream. I don't know if you know, but in this country you can get a cornet, an ice cream with a flake in the top. It's called a 99. So that made me think of Mr. Whippy, because it's always Mr. Whippy ice cream, isn't it? You know, the swirly Mr. Whippy. So
I want a Whippy.
So I thought, brilliant, I'm going to call this the Whippy wash mitt. It just seemed perfect. It just all, and I made a load. I couldn't stop knitting them.
Because we use these for everything.
We do.
We use them for washing, we use them for washing dishes. They're perfect.
Yeah. So look, I made 5. I couldn't stop knitting them. So I did one of the larger size. There's 2 sizes in the pattern. I did one of the larger size in 2 colours because for the standard size, which is this one, you just need one of these little balls. Perfect. And you have like this much left. And I've made I made 3 solid ones, and I didn't run out of yarn on any 3 of them. So I'm confident that you'll be okay with the yarn. So 1 ball for the standard size and then 2 balls for the larger size. So I think it's just brilliant. And my idea behind this wash mitt was that you can put your hand in it. It's like a little glove and just fits on your hand perfectly, for washing your face or for doing the dishes. It's great.
Equally, though, when I'm sometimes it depends.
That's the larger one, so you can get that one on your hand.
It depends what I'm doing with the dishes. Sometimes, if I'm like getting inside like a glass, then I'll have it on like that. But then other times, I'll just use it
just like a normal
dishcloth. It's just
dishcloth.
Brilliant, and the texture's great because it's sort of slightly rough.
It's a bit rough.
So it's really good for like getting off stuff that's a bit attached.
And it's really lovely to work the stitch pattern, and it's got a hanging loop. So that you can just, when you've finished it, you can hang it over your tap to dry, or in your shower, or on your kitchen tap. But I throw these in the washer. I've got 2 or 3 that Bryony uses all the time, and then they just get thrown in the washer and dryer, and they're perfect. And she's been using a couple now since I made them, so it's 1.5 years. They've been in the washer and dryer I don't know how many times, and they're just still perfect. And they're just and it's it saves on. I just think it's nice to make your own things to sort of wash your body kind of thing, instead of manufactured plasticky things. So this is the Whippy wash mitt, and this updated pattern has now gone out today as well. So anyone who purchased this originally on Ravelry will have received an update, or you can just go ahead and purchase it. It's, I think, £3.50. It's an inexpensive pattern.
I even use one for actually doing the car as well. It's great for like polishing the car.
Yeah, polishing, because it's cotton, so it's lovely for doing windows and things like that. But that's the difference in size with the sort of standard and the larger one.
And I've got humongous hands, and I think
you can get the large one on. Yeah,
it's perfect.
But I didn't want it to be baggy on your hand. The small one, it's just a perfect size. Just to and it's great for, because I really like having when I'm washing my face, I do like a bit of exfoliating going on. And I'm always saying to Bryony, do your face really well, get your flannel and really give it a good going over, and it's brilliant for that.
So that is the Whippy wash mitt.
So that's the Whippy wash mitt.
You have stalled long enough.
I've stalled long enough.
Now, with some careful editing, we will reveal Kay wearing the most perfect headwear you've ever seen. Is that not just perfection?
No, it's not very big.
I particularly like the bobble on the top. Not too big, not too small, the perfect size. Very French. This is the Sitka pattern by Tin Can Knits.
It's Sitka spruce. I'm going to take it off and then show you. It's deliberately a little bit small, and I'll tell you why. It's too small really for me. So let's take it off and then I can explain why. So it's the Sitka spruce pattern by Tin Can Knits. I hope it's showing actually. It looks like a snowflake on top.
Yeah, it is.
And that's it inside. I knit the beret version. There's either a beanie or a beret version. And it's got this, if I hold it like this, you can probably... It just looks tiny, I hope
but
it's
you did it
fit.
Small deliberately.
It's all twisted. It's all like left and right crosses, which, I'll be honest, it's a bit taxing doing so many of them and keeping it within pattern. I went wrong 2 or 3 times and had to tink back. That is no joke. Tinking back left and right crosses for like 2 rounds. That is absolutely no joke. But it's produced a beautiful hat, and I added a little pom-pom. This is for my mum. Now, my mum only really wears berets. Now, this is, she's a bit of a nightmare with hats. She always says hats are too big for her because she's got quite a small head. So with this, the pattern is knit with, I think it's Malabrigo worsted, which I think is more of an Aran weight yarn. It's quite thick, Malabrigo worsted. So I decided to use Cascade 220 Superwash, which I think is classed as a worsted weight. It's 220 yards per 100 grams, and it's just a cream colour. It's colour 817. But I think it's more of a DK. This is what I had left. I would, this to me just looks like DK. I don't think it looks like worsted weight at all. No. And it did say in the pattern, if you wanted to size it down for like a child or, a smaller head, then to use DK weight yarn. So I thought, right, that's what I'm going to do. But I am now a bit bothered that it's going to be too small.
Look, you can't stress about it because what more could you do? You needed to make something small.
I know.
It goes on your head.
Yeah, so
so
hopefully it'll be all right. And she wanted a pom-pom, so I just put a little tiny pom-pom.
You've got to have a starting point, haven't you?
I know, and if it's too small, then I really don't want to make another one.
Well, don't make that and just make something different.
Well, I looked at loads of patterns and they were all kind of slouchy berets.
Right.
Do you know that sort of look of slouchy berets? And my mum's 83. She's not a slouchy hat wearer,
No.
But fingers crossed this is going to fit.
I have, of course, requested one for myself.
Oh, get on. You can knit your own if you want one.
It's beautiful.
Because it was...
What an epic! What's on your needles?
What's off, you mean?
Sorry. What an epic what's off your needles. And the wait is now over. Shall we go back and find out, was Kay correct? Welcome back to Knit or Forfeit. Oh my goodness. Talk about tense. Well, let's find out what the answer to this question was. The question we left you with was, and I'll get it right this time, on December the 24th, 2017, you launched your Platinum collection of patterns with the All Is Calm socks inspired by snow gently falling on a winter's day. But can you name the third Platinum pattern which you launched in June 2018? After much deliberation, Kay has used her Poirot senses to come to the conclusion that surely she would have released socks inspired by dandelions in the summer. Is she correct? Yes, she is!
God.
Congratulations.
Well,
yes, indeed.
Miraculous.
And I remember those socks because they had an afterthought heel.
No, they didn't. It wasn't afterthought.
Oh, what was it?
It was a short row heel.
Thank you. I get those two things mixed up.
Yeah, it was a garter stitch short row heel. It was kind of like a challenge to myself to design a pair of socks using a short row heel. And I really enjoyed the challenge, and I enjoyed knitting it, and I knit 2 pairs, I think.
Okay, are we ready for question 7?
Yeah.
I think we are. Knitting is considered to have originated in the Arab world, most probably Egypt. With the advent of the Crusades, it spread to Spain and then across Europe. In history, the best way to track new activities is when the word describing them enters the language. So in what century do you think the term to knit entered the English language? When do you think we in this country started to say, I'm going to knit now? I'm going to go into the parlour to knit.
What century?
Yes.
Right, okay. Don't know.
Your choices are A, the 15th century, which of course would make it the 1400s. Yeah?
Yes, yeah,
Cool.
I understand that.
Cool. The 16th century, the 13th century, or the 12th century?
Oh, gosh, I was thinking it was much later than any of those. So you said that in funny order, so it's either 12th, 13th, 14th or 15th?
12th, 13th, 15th or 16th.
Right. It's going to be a complete guess, and I don't think really there'd be any point in using lifelines. It's not something I think that will be widely known.
No.
So I'm just going to have to hazard a guess and say 16th century. Whatever answer that was.
Okay. Is she right? It's locked in, so there's no going back. Unfortunately, she's not. Oh no, it's only your second wrong answer, and we're on question 7, so you're doing tremendously well. It was the 1400s, it was the 15th century.
Right.
That's when the word to knit, the expression to knit, first entered the English language. It's time for question 8.
8?
Yes.
Okay, I'm nearly there.
Yes, nearly there. Only 3 to go.
Okay.
How many calories does the average person burn whilst knitting for 60 minutes?
Not many. Give me the answers.
Is it 102? Is it 175? Is it 200? Or is it 275?
It's not the higher ones, because I go for a walk for about 40 minutes and I might burn about 180 calories. So it's got to be less than that, hasn't it? It's got to be one of the lower ones. So tell me them again.
So it's either A, 102,
yeah,
B, 175,
no, it can't be that. Go on.
C, 200, or D, 275.
102.
So you're going with A.
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? If I only burn about 180 calories on a 40-minute walk, you're sat knitting. That you can't be burning that many calories. It's got to be 102.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, it's locked in. She's right!
It had to be, didn't it?
I still think that's amazing.
100 calories.
That's pretty...
Well, I don't know. I'd need to know how many calories you burn just sitting still. I'm not, saying that's a bad thing in any shape or form.
Great answer. Brilliant deduction as well. And talk about your walking serving you well.
Well, that's the only reason I could guess that
That's
one.
superb.
I wouldn't have had a clue a year ago.
And we're on to question 9.
Okay.
In a moment, I'm going to show you a rather gorgeous picture of a pattern. Well, it's not a pattern, it's a finished blanket. And it's called the Nature's Walk Blanket by Sandra Paul.
Indeed, I know this blanket.
Oh. It is a crochet pattern.
Yes, it is.
Released in September 2019.
Indeed, she did.
And it was inspired by Sandra's walks with her dog Bertie.
Yes, who is a dachshund. I watch Sandra all the time.
Oh, I didn't know this. I now wish this question was different.
Bertie's so cute.
Can you name any other pattern by Sandra available right now on Ravelry?
Right, I could get 2 points. I think I might be able to name one.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Okay, I've got 2 in my head. Right, I'm going to go with the Peachy Geometric.
Okay. What's the other one you had in your head?
Pine cone, and then I can't remember is it washcloth? I can't remember the exact phrasing of it.
So Kay has locked in her answer prior to hearing the multiple choice answers. Before we tell you if she's correct or not, if she's got 2 points, I'm going to give you the answers which I would have given.
Okay, right,
just
okay.
Just for fun.
All right, I'll know this. Go on.
Remember, 3 of these aren't.
Yes, okay.
One of these is.
Yes, okay.
And you're not having 3 points if you get this right. Oh no.
Okay, go on.
So, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So the choices I would have given you are A, Fruit Pastels Blanket.
No.
B, Victoria Shawl.
Yes.
C, Sunrise Shawl.
No.
D, Raspberry Scissor Keeper.
No. It's the Victoria Shawl, because I've been looking at that also. This week.
Amazing.
I was looking at that thinking,
Amazing.
I wonder if I could do that.
Oh my goodness.
I've been branching out a bit with my crochet thing, thinking I can do other things.
Right.
It's the Victoria Shawl.
Okay, but your answer was Peachy Geometric.
Peachy Geometric. Sandra, come on.
Does she have 2 points? I think she does. Oh, well done.
Thank you.
That's
very much.
excellent.
Thank you.
Oh.
I do pay attention when I'm watching podcasts.
Full of pride.
Oh, I'm pleased about that.
Neil, ladies and gentlemen, we are, of course, running into the lovely holiday season, the festive period, and I thought it would be just wrong of me not to take the opportunity for the final question.
There's a little Christmas tree. Can you see that there?
It's sneaking in already.
And there's a candle Christmas tree there.
It's so cute. I thought it would be wrong of me not to have one slightly festive question.
Right.
So here we go with question 10. Last question, a little bit festive. In 2005, Alison Murray, with the help of 700 other knitters, found herself in the Guinness Book of Records after creating a 25-foot-high holiday decoration. But what was it?
25 feet?
Yes.
Well, you'd think it's got to be a tree, but I don't know.
So,
25 foot high. Right, okay.
do you want to...
I don't want to guess it, no, because I don't know at all.
Okay, so you'd
I'm
like
not
to
that
hear...
foolish.
You'd like to hear the answers?
Yes.
So here are your potential answers. Is it A, a menorah? Is it B, a Christmas stocking? Is it C, a Santa Claus? Or is it D, a Christmas tree? 25 foot high, that's impressive, whatever it is.
A Christmas stocking, it wouldn't stand upright, would it?
No.
If it's touring the country, how would they get that to sort of stand upright? I suppose they could hang it off something. But would you say a stocking was 25 foot high? I mean, it's not something you'd describe in that way, I don't think. I don't know what the first word means. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is. So it's either a Santa or a Christmas tree. I mean, a Santa you would have to stuff, wouldn't you, as well?
Well, that'd be an awful lot of that stuff you used to use for the bakery.
That's going to be a vast amount of stuffing. I can't even comprehend, really. And getting it even then to stand upright. I mean, my initial thought was it has to be a Christmas tree, really. Just the description of it, 25 foot high. You would think that that's got to be a Christmas tree. I'm going to go with that.
Okay, so
Christmas tree.
Locked in?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Alison Murray, with the help of 700 people, create... Now, you see, if it was a Santa Claus as well, I think that would be pretty terrifying.
Because everybody would have to knit a different bit of it.
But also a 25-foot high Santa.
It'd have to be sewn together and...
You'd have to work very hard for it not to look like
because,
Mr. Stay Puft.
You know, everybody could knit a branch or something.
Yeah.
That seems much more sensible, doesn't it?
So was it a Christmas tree? Yes, it was!
I should have guessed because I was going to say Christmas tree.
What a stupendous end to a superb round. So Kay finishes with a grand score of 9 and her total for the 2 rounds is 18.
What did you score last year that made you win? What was your score? Do you remember? I can't remember.
But I know I didn't really win. I know the winner really was Ferran Moreno.
Oh, yes.
Who was rewarded, of course.
He was.
We did send him some yarn
we did.
Because it was his text a friend, and I perhaps need to remember that it was his text a friend. He might be another person who I call on. But you only used 1 lifeline again, didn't you?
I know, deliberately.
Yeah, so I mean, you've really played it well because I used 2 lifelines, so we're already tied for lifelines.
You're very blasé with your lifeline.
Well, I'm guaranteed to need to use at least 1, so it can't be a tiebreaker. So I have to go for the win.
There's a slim chance.
Because, of course, if you answered all questions without hearing the answers, you'd get 20. So, folks, it's time for the final viewer question, the final chance for you to win. And this is the best prize ever. It is oh, my goodness, it's so stupendous. Trust me, you want to enter this. So, folks, your question is this. What does Mr. Fitzwilliam Fox like to collect and tuck in his coat pockets? That is your question. Comment on the Ravelry thread or contact us via the website with your answers. We'll then random number for a winner and we'll announce it in the final round of Knit or Forfeit. And oh my goodness, there's the music. Kay has done stupendously well.
Even with the random questions.
Finishing on an amazing score of 18. And you'll find out if I could possibly, because I did come from behind before. I did come from seriously behind before, so you'll find out next time who will be the champion of 2019. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time for the final round of Knit or Forfeit. Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
What?
But why would you not do that after just absolutely
and I think,
putting me...
I think, to be fair, that I deserve some other kind of award because some of those questions were so random I can't even...
What a stupendous round. And it sets us up for the most phenomenal final round coming next episode. Oh yes, because I came from behind before and I can come from behind again. So yes, also do come and join in this final competition, the final Knit or Forfeit opportunity for you viewers at home to win. And if you would like a sneaky little hint as to where you might find out the answer to what Mr. Fitzwilliam Fox likes to collect and tuck in his coat pockets, you might just have a look here. And then once you've had a look there and found your answer, you can then let us know either, like Kay said in the show, on the Ravelry thread, on the Knit or Forfeit question. Is it called competition?
Yeah, it just says Knit or Forfeit question.
Cool.
Yeah.
Or you can, when you're over on the website looking at our information to find out what he likes to tuck in his pockets, there's a contact button in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Just click on that and it will take you to a lovely page where you can send us an email and let us know what your answer is. And in the final round of Knit or Forfeit, next episode, we will draw for that winner. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My goodness. It's time for us to find out what the Endy Bits are today.
Endy Bits.
Well.
Ooh. We've got some prizes to give out.
We do. Swish and Flick.
Swish and Flick prizes.
Who's won?
Because the final pattern just came out, we've got 2 prizes to do. And there will be another final 2 prizes. It'll be on the first episode in the new year.
Yes.
Because I'm letting the sort of knit along run until the end of the year.
Lovely.
So we've got 2 prizes. We have a skein of the hand-dyed yarn that I dyed in the sort of Harry Potter colours. It seemed completely appropriate because this is the final one. It's at Shell Cottage, Shell Cove, that it be Dobby.
Yes.
Oh, poor Dobby. I still don't know why she did that, but anyway. So this is my Dobby colourway, which is this gorgeous sort of slightly sort of peachy, I suppose, with like a mossy green and little sort of pinky sort of flecks. Super lovely. So we've got a skein of Dobby, and then we've also got a bag from my lovely Sasha. So are
we starting with the bag?
We'll do the bag first.
I'll hold the bag.
So the entries for this, it was from numbers 3489 to 3804. And the first winner was number 3678. And that is B Ball Mom on Ravelry, and that's Lynn in Michigan.
Congratulations, Lynn.
So Lynn, that bag is yours. So would you get in touch with me? You can Ravelry message me or email me, give me your full name and address, and I'll get that sent off to you.
Cool.
So well done, Lynn.
And the Dobby yarn.
And the Dobby yarn was won by number 3705, and that's Sarah's Nana on Ravelry, and that's Pat in Maryland.
Wow.
So Pat,
congratulations,
you've won
Pat.
the Dobby yarn.
How exciting.
Yay.
Oh yes.
So again, get in touch with me and I will get that sent off to you as soon as I get your address.
Congratulations, ladies.
Yay, well done everyone.
You have 2 purchases there.
I've got a couple of new purchases.
Show us.
Is that okay? So the first one, I pre-ordered this actually a few weeks ago from Susie. Susie is Elderflower Stitches on Etsy. I think it's an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elderflower Stitches. She's also got a podcast which is lovely. She talks about knitting and she sews beautiful clothes as well. She's got an allotment that she sometimes talks about. Absolutely gorgeous colours, and she really loves all these kind of pretty pinks and peaches and just gorgeous.
And Susie will be joining us.
Oh yes.
In the Knitability Christmas special.
Yes, she is.
For a lovely interview.
Yeah.
We cannot wait.
Too exciting.
It's going to be amazing, the Christmas special this year, because we've got Susie, we've got Alicia Plummer.
Wow.
Who is just, the most phenomenal designer. What was the famous thing that she designed?
Campside shawl.
There you go.
Yeah, that was massive a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yes. We've got another superb show diary from Patricia McMullen. It's going to be amazing. And that's out in December.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, we're looking forward to having Susie.
Getting to know Susie a bit better.
Yes.
That'd be lovely. But this was a set of minis that she did, and it's called Point Shoes, because these are like a gradient of the most gorgeous ballerina peachy colour, and you get some point shoes to go with it. Just gorgeous. So it's 5 20-gram minis. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I'm just letting them ponder. You know what I'm like. They will just sit there in my stash and ponder, and something will come to me that I'm going to use these for. But it'll be something lovely, I'm sure. Gorgeous colours.
What else have you got there?
And then this was a new to me dyer. When I was watching one of the crochet podcasts that I discovered recently, she'd bought some yarn from this dyer, and I'd never heard of her. It's a UK dyer, so I'm always happy to find new UK dyers. And it's called Pixie Yarn.
Looks gorgeous.
It does. Pixie Yarn, hand-dyed. And this is in the Three Friends colour. And it's just gorgeous. Look at the speckles on this.
It is gorgeous.
Look at that.
Yeah, it looks like a great dye job too.
It does. And I
Goodness.
wanted to cast this on at the second it came through the door, because I opened it and I was like, oh my goodness, this has got to be some socks. But I wanted to show you first, and also I think I might use this for some design, some future design. Exciting. And I just wanted to have the perfect thing. But look at the teeny tiny blue specks. Can you see them? Gorgeous. So I can highly recommend this yarn. It's absolutely lovely. Can't wait to knit with it.
Lovely. Is that everything from you?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we will, of course, see you in 2 weeks for episode 139 and the grand final of Knit or Forfeit. But there's a lot going on between now and then.
It'll be December then.
It will be December, so you know what that means. First of all, the final actually live show, the final live patron-only show that we do every month. It's the final live show because obviously in December, as you've seen already today, we've got the Advent calendar starting.
Yeah.
And the Advent calendar culminates with our special Christmas message on the 24th of December. So the final live show of the year is going to happen the day before the Advent calendar starts. Wow. So the patron-only show will be on the 30th of November, which is a Saturday at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So don't miss it. We'll be previewing the Advent calendar and talking about Christmas, and it'll just be, it's my favourite patron show of the year, actually, because there's so much excitement. It's like Christmas Eve. Also, we have the radio show coming out next Friday.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about how we are planning Christmas this year.
Yes.
We'll also be talking about Christmases past and the things that we love about Christmas. So don't miss the radio show, which is out next Friday. Of course, then, next Sunday the 1st of December, the Advent calendar begins.
Yeah.
So that is just, we're right in the point of terror for me. You know, because you do not want to know how crazily busy things are right now.
Yeah,
there's so much going on, and so many things have to slot into place. Because if you think about it, every day it's like a mini New Adventures.
Yeah.
My goodness. And I looked, I was like sat there yesterday, and I'm like working away, and then I thought, oh, do you know, I'm making loads of great progress. I'll just look at the diary. Oh. 1st of December is next Sunday.
Yeah, it's sooner than you think. It is. It's like a week on Sunday.
That's just
It's fine. A lovely day to have the first calendar on, though, a Sunday.
Absolutely.
Where everybody can open it and enjoy it without having to rush off to work, hopefully.
Because the launch show is a little bit longer. It's always a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So to say there's a lot going on right now would be an understatement. So, folks, thank you so much for watching. This has been such an exciting show for us.
It's been such a full show.
The end of the Swish and Flick, my goodness, that's just been, for both of us, I mean, you've done all the work and then, you know, invited me to come in at the last minute, and it's been wonderful doing something together with you. So bringing that to a close has been just wonderful. But then, you know, in the words of Tiny Tim, life is all about endings and new beginnings.
Yeah.
And as the Swish and Flick ends, the Bakery Bears Advent calendar begins.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My goodness. Folks, thank you so much, and we'll see you
everybody.
in 2 weeks for more.
Bye.
Who's it sitting and knitting? It's Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. Enthusiasm's not quitting for Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. They'll take you to fabulous places of which their favorites they'll share. You better buy a pattern, yourself a bakery bear. You'll find yourself in a castle while watching the bakery bears. It never feels like a hassle to sit and watch the bakery bears. What's on your shelf or what's in your oven, or maybe a shawl you'll want to wear. So sit yourself right down and watch Dan and Kay